To talk about today in the race for the White House. So let's get right to it. Joining us live this afternoon is Joe Zepecki, a Democratic political strategist and former state communications director for President Obama and Mary Burke, and Stephen Thompson, Republican political strategist and Governor Walker advisor. So let's talk about Mike Pence here. And we know that Trump says he will make the official announcement tomorrow. Friends describe Governor Pence as, quote, a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. Democrats have jumped on him for controversial law he signed that gives businesses protection for exercising their religious beliefs. But the LGBT community said it was discrimination. So, Stephen, let me ask you first. Is Pence a good pick for Trump and the party?
I think that he is. I think that what he brings to the table is something unique, and that's a track record of conservative accomplishments, both as a governor and as a member of Congress. I think that helps Trump in the campaign, but particularly if Trump gets elected this November, he's got somebody that has relationships with Congress, with governors, and able to get things done.
Joe, what do you think?
Well, I think the fact that people like Scott Walker and Paul Ryan view Governor Pence as a safe, good pick tells you everything you need to know about the Republican Party right now. He is unabashedly anti-equality, anti-immigrant, anti-choice. That's not where most of America is. And I think the most interesting thing was that Mr. Trump apparently tried to change his mind hours after he made this pick, which just underscores that he lacks the temperament, resolve, and leadership qualities that we need in a commander-in-chief.
Stephen, what do you make about Pence as he was a Ted Cruz supporter? Is he sending a message here by picking someone who was once a Ted Cruz supporter?
I think what he picked here was somebody who has great relationships with Congress, with governors. That's something that, Donald Trump, coming from outside of the political world, that he doesn't have, that he needed. And he also has somebody who's gotten things done as a conservative.
Let's talk about the Democrats and Hillary Clinton. They will hold their convention 1 week from today. Clinton is running a new ad that is getting a lot of buzz on social media. It shows young children watching some of the more controversial comments made by Donald Trump in the campaign. Let's listen.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
When Mexico sends its people, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
You got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
Joe, she's been up running a lot of TV ads about Donald Trump right now, and it still appears around the country that this could be a close race. What do you make of this ad?
I think it's devastatingly effective. Mr. Trump is his own worst enemy, and let's be clear, right? If a school-age child was making fun of a classmate who had a disability in the way that Mr. Trump did, there would be disciplinary action. They would be suspended possibly. That's not the example we need to set for young people, and ultimately public service and leadership ought to be all about the kids and the next generation. So I think you're going to see a lot of this, and I think it's important that we think about that.
Stephen, this is a tough ad to defend.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I have 2 daughters at home, and the title of this ad is Role Models. If Hillary Clinton wants to be a role model for the 2 daughters that I have at home, then she shouldn't have lied to the country about her misuse of an email server that threatened the security of our country. That's not being a role model for my children or anybody else's.
And Joe, that's going to be the response. It's about temperament versus trust.
Sure, because they know that they can't defend Mr. Trump's comments, and they know that he doesn't have the temperament to be commander-in-chief. The FBI has closed the investigation into Mrs. Clinton's server use. She has apologized for it. She said it was a mistake. That's what leadership is. And on the flip side, you have Mr. Trump, who refuses to apologize for anything, even when he says things like you saw in that ad that we all know are just wrong.
All right, we appreciate the insight from both of you. Thank you very much. I will be at the Republican National Convention. You can watch my reports from Cleveland starting this Sunday on Live at 10. I'll also be covering the Democratic Convention. That will be in Philadelphia. That takes place at the end of the month, July 25th through the 28th.